I'm your host, Sully, and here we are with another exclusive guest, the number one Hellboy fan on the planet, Elita One.
Well, I'm more like the second because my friend
Second,
Patrick.
oh,
Well, no, I agreed to him because I know him in real life. His name's Patrick. I
Patrick,
don't know I can't remember his
not
last
that
name.
Patrick Stone. No, oh shit, wrong Patrick.
Yeah, I love. I remember when SpongeBob came on TV. That's how old I am. I'll be 38. I'll be 38 in November.
Nice, you got me
Yeah,
beat by
a lot of
5
people
years.
are like, "Oh, you're
Nice.
old."
What is old nowadays? I see so many people do the whole "it's old," and it's like, and should I be
Or
ashamed of
I'm
that?
this old. I'm
Would you
like, dude,
rather I be an immortal being, undead being, like, I don't know, Pinhead? No, you wouldn't. Because then
you're
I'd be
not
coming
immortal,
for your soul and put it in purgatory.
Oh, gracious. I think sometimes I actually think that we are in hell.
Oh, we
We
aren't?
suffer.
I thought
We
we
go
were.
through the most craziest stuff.
I've been in hell since 2004 when I just saw how divided the country was and
Oh
how
no,
much
I
fear
tell everybody,
mongering.
I said, this is hell. Wake up.
Yeah, it's not like
Who
TV.
knows? Who knows?
So we thought we'd do another just Hellboy side quest discussion, but more importantly, just kind of like the biggest differences between like the comics and the movies, and why it kind of has it's kind of renowned, kind of like Spawn in a way. Even
Yeah, I
I,
seen Spawn. It's actually a really good movie.
well, and there you go. And but regardless of whether you've seen the movie, you might have seen just the cartoon on HBO, or you might have just
Exactly.
read the comic, or you might have even seen his cameo in one of the Mortal Kombat games. You know,
Into that.
it's interesting how, I mean, I'm looking at it now with people who are getting into movies they should have probably already seen 40 years ago, but they're just now seeing
Yes,
it.
I agree.
I'm seeing people who are just now checking out, I don't know, Candyman or Dawn
Oh
of the
my gosh,
Dead.
and they don't know the originals, and I'm like, I actually like the new Candyman, but I have to stick with the originals because
Yeah, that
I
Philip Glass
love
score. Oh man,
I forgot the actor's name, but I
Tony
loved it.
Todd.
I love his Candyman. Yes, he is. He's like every time I see him, I see Candyman.
I
I was like,
see.
oh, Candyman.
I'll do you one better. I will see him in anything. So he's done it all. Badass
Oh my gosh,
detective,
I
a
know,
serial
right?
killer, a war criminal, just a
He's been in a lot of
starship captain.
a lot of good
He's good at
films.
that. Yeah, he is diverse, and
I love the
so
story behind Candyman too,
right.
and
Just
it's like he fell in love, and
he's
they and
technically a Cenobite.
basically. I mean, if you look at it in that one Candyman movie, basically the girl becomes like part of him. She becomes like another version of Candyman. The girl,
Yeah, absolutely, Helen. Yeah, and
yes.
that's so unreal. I don't think you can do that nowadays without feeling derivative or just like, what the hell? Why did I
It's
waste
like
2 hours?
you got to dig deep and to know exactly what you're messing with, or you're gonna screw it up.
Absolutely. I think Hellboy is in that niche where it's also
Yes,
sci-fi, fantasy, and action, kind of like Blade and Spawn,
and a
but
little
it's
bit of horror because the
yeah,
comics labeled as horror.
absolutely. There's demons and gore, so and
Oh yeah, who doesn't
uh,
love that? I know that's
who
one of my
doesn't not love it? Yeah, and it,
favorites.
so what do you make of Mike Mignola's style? I mean,
Oh
I,
my gosh, no,
I
you
saw
it's the holy grail there.
yeah, I saw the Amazing Screw on Head when it premiered on Sci-Fi, and I just knew instantly he is just a
I actually
very
have the hardcover of that one.
oh
I'm hoping
lovely.
it's signed in the
He's a nutty
future.
guy. He's just very fun,
Yes, I
charming.
love him. I'm friends with him on Facebook. And I really want to meet him. When I wanted to beat myself up when I found out he was actually going to be at 2023 this year's
Oh
San
wow.
Diego Comic-Con. I'm like, oh my god, I should have saved the money to go over there. I would have met him. And I'm like, oh, I feel like such an idiot. But I'm hoping he'll be there next year when they if the new Hellboy movie that they're making, Hellboy the Crooked Man.
Yes, I hope it still comes out in some capacity, or at least make it a
Hoping it comes out
miniseries.
next year. But then again, I hear they're filming it, and actually, that's not too far from me. I don't know if they're going to be filming in PA, which is Pennsylvania. Um,
I couldn't tell. I'm just kidding.
no, sorry, no, I keep thinking it's Pennsylvania for some god awful reason, it's in West Virginia. Literally, I'm only like 30 minutes across near the. I live in Virginia, so it's like 30 minutes over the border of Virginia. I can literally take my car and be there within 30 minutes.
There you go, man. Get it?
Yeah. Not far. But I heard that they might be filming overseas in some of the shots because of the wooded areas they want to use.
Oh, that would be great.
I heard, but I'm not too sure.
If that's a secret filming, I would love to be on that kind of secret filming because those are the secret filmings you remember.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it. It's like when they're making the newer, the 2019 Hellboy movie, I didn't even know about it. And it's like, they really kept that under wraps.
Millennium films and even the Marvel stuff will often
they are strict with that.
They'll be in a cryptic like title like 2-4 giant A or something like that. And you'll be like,
yes, and you can't see it until they finish it and it's edited and it says the name of the movie.
Remember when the internet used to be
filming and they don't see it's like when you're looking at a construction site, it's like, what the heck are they putting there?
I don't know how anyone gets a script nowadays, unless you're one of the actors.
Most of the time, I think it's online.
Right. But you have to literally be a crew member or actor being on Professional. So it used to be extras.
And you're not allowed to do that, actually, from what I understand, because a couple of mine said that when you do stuff like that, you actually, when you sign a contract, you cannot leak. You cannot post anything about what's going on.
Absolutely.
Even if you're working on comics. And I've done that.
It also has to be it has to be orchestrated like clickbait now. Like it has to just be a deliberate, hey, so-and-so is auditioning. The rumor is. And it's like, okay, asshole, that was one of the unit production managers or producers who put that out. That wasn't.
Or they try to act like they're like, hey, look at this. And it's like, you look at it like, what am I looking at?
Absolutely.
It's like a bunch of clickbait. Like they want to see how many people would be able to click it.
We are a long ways away from freaking Blue Harvest unleashing Star Wars secrets or people diving into dumpsters.
I can't remember what one it was, but I heard I can't remember who it was or what movie it was about. But it was somebody had hacked somebody's computer just to get the script.
It sounds like every other TV show because they've gotten to that point where they like to, long story short, just dive into dumpsters and get the scripts. But now I think they're just required at this point to just shred it.
They have some good TV shows. I just watched this one and it actually really got me. It was called The Chosen One. It's American Jesus. And I actually have to say I really liked it. I was expecting him to be like the modern day Jesus, and then they find out at the end, I'm not going to spoil it, that something changes and something's different. If you've ever seen it, then you'll understand.
The Chosen One, 2007? Movie?
I think so. Well, it's a TV show on Netflix.
Oh, TV show. Okay.
But it is
okay. I see it now.
I think it's a book and a comic.
Oh wow, I see it now.
Yeah, I'm actually going to buy the comics because I like that kind of stuff.
That's how good the movie is if you want to see the source material. And that's how Hellboy was for me, where I was just like, this is nutty. This is getting me even comfortable. And I like how this guy, he's a gentle giant. And did you notice, I have read some of the comics, and so I was prepared for some of the over-the-top just violence, but it didn't offend me because it was cartoonish.
I love... To me, Hellboy, he keeps a lot in. He doesn't really talk to,
right. For the movies and the cartoons, up, but he often goes.
He ever opened up to was Professor Bruton. Well, as in the 2008 Bruton Home. I thought that was funny. I heard that. I'm like, really?
he often just goes, oh crap, in all the movies, which is interesting because in the books he's more like, and then this happens. And I guess I'm gonna blast the demon. He's talking more after the fact.
Here we go again. Or I'm gonna kill that one in the morning.
Are trying to kill him and other stuff. It's more. It's definitely that kind of.
Have you read the novels of by Christopher Golden? He's my friend too, by the way.
Please forward them to me. I'd love to read more about it.
It's I think I have them up here in my closet. Sorry, I'm sitting. Let's see. And I took him out of here. Great. And
I'm
there,
out of here, damn it.
but no, he's got a couple of them. I think one of them is called the Lost Army. But I like how he expressed that Hellboy was once him. And if you read the in Hellboy in Love comics, I was actually using that tag before they actually made those comics. By the way,
Oh, sweet.
I did not know it until I'm like, you know, why does that look so familiar? And then I was looking at the past stuff that I posted just to see how much stuff that I had, because I go through my old stuff and then archive it on Instagram. And
What?
I just like, you know what? This is before the comic came out, and I'm still using Hellboy in Love. I was like, okay, I started something before it even happened. I actually did that
In
with
the room where it happened.
with Ghostface. I did that with Ghostface.
The ghost face from Scream.
Yes, when I was
Not the
little,
ghost face killer.
my mom had gotten me and my sister these costumes, and this before Scream, the movie,
Sweet.
and it was the actual costumes that was in the movie. I'm like, what
Oh my
is it? Oh,
god.
it's a white ghost and he's got a black cape. Just wear it. It was cheap. I was like, okay. And we wore them for Halloween. And then literally a year later, ta-da! I'm like, Mom, what? They made a movie about our costumes. Well, I was little. I mean, I couldn't believe it. And I was like, okay, we were popular before everybody else was.
I hate that too. I was using the GoPro and other uh even Filmic Pro to film something before Soderbergh was using it. So, you know,
Oh my
it's
god.
interesting.
Yeah, especially if a well-known person uses it and you've been using it a lot longer. It's like, okay, I've been using it
Oh
longer.
well, and I was surrounded by snobs who were like, "That's not professional." I'm like, "Fuck you! You don't get to decide and do that gatekeeping." And
Everybody, I learned over the years because when I first got online, I was new at it. I didn't get online physically with a computer until 2010. So
well, you lucked out, so you avoided a lot of the needless melodrama and shit
no,
talking.
I didn't avoid a lot because I still. Have you ever heard of Encyclopedia Dramatica? Have you ever heard of it? It was a website. It basically bullied people.
Oh yeah, IMDb was such a
Yeah,
mess.
so it wasn't just me, but it was other people that they were shutting down and thank God the FBI and all that took it down because it was causing some kids to actually commit suicide. Sadly.
Oh yeah, there have been so many celebs who've been busted, and I always put them on the spot. That's the same person
Yes.
advocating this who used to say shit like this.
Mm, it's sad. This
It really
world is
is.
crazy, but we live in it and we try to make it what it is, what we can with what we got. And then movies, cartoons, comics. I mean, they help. Like it's like a filter. You see this, and this is what you want to be in, and it helps you from seeing the sad reality of what you're living in. It's like a blindfold if you think about it. But that blindfold, you could take it off and put it back on whenever you want. That's what I
Absolutely.
believe.
No, I love that. That's poetic. That's great.
I mean, I'm not the perfect person to
None of us are. What is
do
perfect? We have all done stuff
exactly.
growing up which was arrogant or douchey or just flawed, and we were like, well, glad we're not that person anymore.
I envy my fiance. He grew up in a blessed household. I mean, I grew up on the streets of Baltimore City, so I've been there and I've seen things that will make you stomach turn. Like Hellboy would say. I've
Right?
seen things that would make you want to turn around and run away, and that's one reason why I kind of looked at Hellboy and I kind of related to him.
Yes.
In
He's the monster inside us
2004.
all.
Ain't that the truth? I've met people actually say that's me all over.
He did an
And my mother, oh my gosh, she gets on my nerves. She literally hates Hellboy. I said, Mom, why do you hate him? He looks like the devil. I said, he's not the devil.
Oh god.
I
I
was
got
like, he's ugly. I'm like, Mom, do
they
you look at appearances or do you not you don't know him? I'm like, whatever.
That's
And I
what I
just
like too. They were able to get past the religious clergy crowd too, and just say, "Hey,
yes,
he's a demon fighting other demons, so you can't do the whole."
exactly. It's I mean, there's some people I've ran into, like other fans.
He's like your
I won't
criminal
name names.
informant, except he doesn't answer to the cops. He uses the cops to get what he needs.
Yes, and he's actually very polite. Um, like I ran into this one other girl, not saying names or anything, and I tried to be nice with them. It's like they kept making it like a contest, if you think about it. And I'm
Right?
just like,
Make that
I
every
have a
fandom or
character
geekdom.
that I've created, and actually, I'm making a crossover comic between my character who I'm trying. You know how Hellboy was created? He was introduced into another comic
Right.
to
Other
see how he would
shared
go.
anthologies, which is so wild
Exactly.
because that's kind of why I think it works so well. He can exist in just any format. The character's
Exactly.
just that
And he
fascinating.
actually, when I found out that he's not owned by
Dark
uh
Horse.
yes, and Mike Malone, and he was smart with that. I'll tell you that he actually is smart because
They're
that's
the
exactly
distributor,
what
and
I did. He
he's
owns and created him,
yeah.
and he keeps it that way. No one has a contract. He doesn't have a contract with another company, like DC. I love how they have him in DC, but they talk with Mike about it. Everything
Hmm.
has to go through him. And that's
Absolutely.
the way I would see. I have my character. Her name is Hilza Nora Knight. I gave her my original last name. That was actually my birth name. My last name
Sweet.
is Bonita Knight.
Knights of the Round Table.
Oh my
Round
gosh,
Table.
my dad. He loves Knights. He loves Knights because of his last name. And
Sweet.
we have a long line history of truck drivers, so that's one reason why I grew up in being wanting to be a diesel mechanic and a truck driver, and I did
You
succeed.
were
I
a
got
natural born
licensed.
gearhead.
Yes, and I drove race cars. I worked on them growing up, and I made my character Hilza Nora actually in 2004 because I was stuck in the hospital. But I didn't give
Oh
her a
shit.
name at that time. I actually let people on Facebook pick her name. I had like three choices, and everybody liked Hilza Nora better. So I'm like, well, let me develop this character. And my other character
Give me
that
a
I have
minute. Yeah.
is like, I got Hilza Nora, but she's my main one I've been messing with right now because Causeway, my Transformer OC, she's already out there. I got a character from The Walking Dead. Her name is Quandrea. I named her after a friend that I was I think if I can remember, first grade with, and I think that was the first time I actually started to draw. I wasn't sure,
Oh really?
but she showed me how to draw a girl with curly hair, and I remember it because I thought she was nice,
Wow.
and I never I always thought her name was pretty, so I never forgot it. And so I created a character called Quandrea Naval, and she's um African American because that my friend was. She was too. So I kind of made her after her.
You made it to
And
the people you are closest to instead of
exactly.
just
And it's like Hills Nora, yeah, she has a lot of me in her. And she's actually half angel, but her mother is an angel from heaven. I have the whole bio of it, but it is nowhere online. I do not post it online. The only people who have it is the person I'm working with for my comic that I'm doing
there you
between
go.
her and Hellboy.
So
It
this
is a
is probably
fan
the
made.
most independent comic book
It
franchise,
it's trying. I'm trying to do it to
just like
where it's
Hellboy
gonna be
in
like
a way.
eight.
Yeah.
It's gonna be 8 issues. I think it's at 8 or 7, something like that. I have to look.
You
I
tell
have it written
me.
down. I hate that when I forget things right off the top of my
I'm
head,
not in
and
the
that's
room
why
where
I
it
have it
happened.
written down. But I basically and I've met so many people where if I explain it to them, like, oh my gosh, she's awesome, and they're like, thank you, and I put a hell of a lot of work in her, and like it's like my dad's even building a model of her truck. It's a 1966 autocar semi truck. They don't make those no more. And autocars were bought out by, I believe, Freightliner or International, one of those. I can't remember right off the bat.
Oh man, dude, that you can get
I
this.
know trucks like the back of my hand, so it would work. And
You
I
might
would
even be able to get this sponsored by a truck company. This would be the character truckers relate to.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
In a way,
I mean,
that's
you
kind of
don't
what
see
Hellboy is.
trucking
He's a blue.
comics. I got
That's
a
what I
few
get
of
from
them.
Hellboy. He's kind of a blue collar guy without having to
Exactly.
associate him with.
Exactly. And actually, I'll tell you a little hint. They actually ended up meeting because I already put this on. I already told a lot of people about it. They ended up meeting in New Mexico when she was driving, and he was fighting some sort of. I'm not going to ruin it, but some sort of monster, and he was thrown out of the building
Some
and
kind of creature.
slammed into the side of her truck. Oh man, you don't want to mess with her truck. That's her life. So she goes around, has a big old shotgun. Okay, she's Southern. She was
I
born,
couldn't
like I
tell.
said, in heaven. She was born in heaven, but it's a whole. I don't want to ruin it. It's a whole thing about it. I went deep into it, and I read a lot of the
It's going to be
Hellboy
an
comics, so I
Archangel
wouldn't mess
Gabriel
with the
out
canon.
there.
I wouldn't mess with canon, which is the originals. Um, so when I saw and I have it in there when she starts getting, she hates him at first because I mean obviously he messed up her truck. She just met him and he just like slammed in the side of her rig, and then she doesn't look at him any different. She sees him, she just sees him a man. She doesn't see,
She sees an
he's
asshole.
different. Yeah. And he's like, I didn't mean to do that or something like that. But he's like, yeah, I'm gonna get up, and he just gets up and just is like, dude, it's my truck. And I mean, it's kind of fun. It's kind of funny because my friend's drawing it out, and it, and that's how they met. But over time,
Wow.
she ends up spending like I think about 2 or maybe 3 years together. I don't want to do two because that's how long Anastasia and Hellboy were together. Um, I didn't want to. I
They
don't
do
want to
give him a
copy
lot of
that.
love interests, which is interesting
Yeah,
compared to
well, he's a nice looking man. Why not? To me, he
Red
is.
Genie.
I mean, he's like
He
he's like the all outfit of a perfect
To
guy.
me, he's like the Wishmaster minus the wanting to find a.
Like the Wishmaster, he's kind of attracted too. So
Oh, there you go. Except he doesn't want to do a prank that'll harm someone. Yeah.
oh no. He actually, yeah, the Hellboy don't, but the Wishmaster give him another chance. He won't get another chance. He'll actually do it. Um, I love those movies. I wish they would bring more back because
I
I love them.
promise
I
you,
love the guy
I'll
who
get you
plays
on a
it.
special on that. I mean, that's why I think I responded to this franchise more often. I was just like, this is exactly the same kind of mischief Joe Dante and Sam Raimi have made a career doing. It's just mischief, mischief, mischief.
There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, like if I ever got to, because I'm actually when I do my comic of Hellboy and Hilsanora, I've actually was gonna print off maybe about 5 or 6 of them.
Woo.
And I wanted to send one to Mike, and I wanted to do like a what if series, just like the Avengers what if. Like,
Ah,
what if Hellboy could actually fall in love with a woman that was a lot like him?
sweet.
She's half angel. She can withstand his half demon abilities.
And that's what I like it too. It brings in all this other folklore. It's not just angels and
Exactly.
demons.
And exactly. You don't hear much about angels in the Mike Malona comics, but they hint at it a little bit. Um like I wanted to, like, for instance, I ran into somebody else, I'm not saying names. It's like, for like, when you're messing with heaven and hell, you got to look at it. God knows everything. I'm not getting into religion here, but
Right.
if you know that genre, they pretty much, God knows what's already going to happen. He knows what's going to happen before you even know. And I'm like, and somebody created a character who was basically a similar in mine age, but her character was basically Angel and was sent to kill Hellboy, uh, back up the truck there, kill Hellboy.
Yeah.
God would already know that Hellboy is a good guy.
Right. How's
Why
this
would
story gonna end?
somebody go and do that? And it's like,
I
when
think
I
that's
created Kills Lenora, I want it to be really. I want it to be the people see it, they can believe it.
bingo.
And like Christopher Golden, when he created Anastasia, he wanted people to believe it. He wanted to see it could really happen. And I love Christopher Golden's work. I actually got a book signed by him and a comic. I never met him in real life, but Matt Smith,
Oh wow.
who drew the Hellboy in Love comics, and I
Eh,
think the covers
those were
for.
nutty ones. Yeah.
Oh, I know. I love some of this stuff in there. It really, and it's not over. I can tell you that it is not over.
Oh yeah, not even by a long
I
shot.
mean, I already know what's gonna happen because I was said this to Matt when I met him in Baltimore Comic Con of last year. I met him and Craig. Craig is the one who did the Young Hellboy series.
Sweet.
Yeah, they're my buddies. Um, and I do talk to them. They're like I said, they're both my friends on Facebook, and I follow them on other social medias. And I can't say I didn't meet them, but I actually did meet them. But Matt is such an awesome guy. I love his work as well. Um, I told him I'm probably like one of your number one fan. I'm told him that,
There you
and
go.
I just love how he drawed Hellboy in Hills and Nora. Oh my gosh, I'm saying Hills and Nora. Anastasia. Actually, if you look at the first comic, and I had to point this out to him, and he didn't know it. If you look at the first comic, it actually looks like me.
Oh my god. You got
I had to send
inspired.
that. I had to send it to you. That's what I thought. Another one of my friends pointed at. She says, "Is that you?" I'm like, "Huh?" And I looked at it, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" And I took a picture of me wearing a hat because I wear hats all the time. I mean, I used to do it when I drive trucks because I'm not gonna sit and have my hair down long
Right.
and sweat like a, what do they call it? Sweat like, I can't remember. Like I'm running track or something. And um, so I'm just like, and I put I was one of the hats that I made myself, and I put it next to it, and I had to flip it a little bit to lick it to see what I'm like. Oh my god, just a little bit different on the chin area, but yes, this is perfect. He actually gave me a black and white copy signed. I'm the only one who has it signed so far. I'm like, I feel special. I got one signed before everybody else did. And I didn't expect him to give it to me. I was willing to pay for it. And he says, "No, you can have it." I'm like, "You're kidding." I'm like, I'm willing to pay for it. No, no. I got a couple more. I'm like, "Okay." Well, can you sign
If
it?
you say so. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. I mean, I ended up buying a drawing of him. I actually have that in my. I have books about in my closet here. Yes, I'm in my closet hiding because I have kids. You can't do nothing. Kids banging on the door 24/7.
It happens.
Not to mention, my fiance is kind of like that too. He'll say, Elita, what? Can I have this? Can you leave me alone? He knows mom's in room. Stay in room because he knows that I'm in here. Don't bother me. This is
Don't
my
bother
This is my hut. Everybody knows
me.
this is where I'm at. And I draw in here, not the closet, but
How
my
big
room
is your
itself.
underground compared to Hellboy's lair? I'm just joking. I know.
Oh my
Because he
god.
has a huge lair.
A lot bigger. Yeah, I mean,
It's not like Batman's where you're like,
oh
hey, he
hell
needs
no.
something
No.
for
If
everybody.
I had an underground lair, I'd never come out.
Yeah.
But I mean, that would be when my kids, when my kids are older. I got one who's 18 now, but I say my 6-year-old is like I say he was 18. I would go in my hut and I'd never come out.
Perfect.
But no, since you mentioned Hellboy's lair, I actually read something, and I actually have to agree with Mike on this. I read it off his profile because they did a comic like a concept of his room,
Oh
and
man.
like, okay, it looks different than the movie. That's what Mike will literally say. This is my Hellboy comic, like in the comics. This is my Hellboy, and he'll tell you. And if you watch the documentary, what is it? Drawing Monsters of the Michael Malona documentary. My name is actually in that at the end the credits.
Sweet.
I was one of the Kickstarter donators.
There you go.
To help fund the film.
Aren't you cool?
I told you I'm a hardcore fan. But in there he says the way they did the pickup truck in the '04 film and in the comics, he didn't want the pickup truck, but that's what Del Toro wanted. And I love Del Toro's work. I do. It's just when now we're going to get into a little bit of the I love Liz. She reminds me a lot of myself. I just don't, I don't create fire.
Mm-hmm.
Because I actually wear nothing but cross necklaces. I have so many different versions of cross necklaces. It ain't fun.
You go.
I was always like that when I was growing up. I was always the odd one in the school. People made fun of me. I'm like, go ahead and make fun of me. You're the one that's gonna be laughing later. But hey, if they're laughing, maybe they're happy. I don't care. At least my grandmother used to say, hey, if they're laughing at you, at least you're making them happy, not sad.
Totally.
And they say if they pick on you, at least they're picking on you, not someone else. And I'm like, she was wise. I miss her so much. She died
for the team.
I know. I miss her. I know she knows it, but passed away about a year ago. So
shit, that's rough.
Yeah, she was like a mother to me. That woman, I used to call her every day, but when they put her in the home, that was it. I couldn't really call her because she would break the phone, but because she didn't want to be there. Who would want to be in a rehabilitated old folks home? I sure the hell wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
But no, when Mike, back to the matter at hand, is that Mike Melinda said that Del Toro's movies are his version of Hellboy.
Right.
And I agree. And I love the movie. I love the first one more, but the whole I wish they would have kind of brought like an extra character or something. The whole of when you read the comics and you watch the '04 film, and that's what a lot of people mistaked. They didn't never wrote the comics, they only saw the movie. I was like, you guys need to see the movie first.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
the character is still definitely beloved. I listened to Who Would Win, which has amusing fictional battles between fictional characters, and they had one between him and Jason, and I just thought that was funny. It was just like,
okay,
it was like, the character is a badass.
That happened.
Well, it's just there's something about
Jason really cannot die. And then Hellboy, he's like, he regenerates like quick.
Yeah, he's like Deadpool. He's a witty shit talker who fights fire with fire. Yeah, so it's
that Deadpool movie. I sat there, I could not stop crying. I still could not stop laughing.
Yeah,
and it's not for kids. It literally tells you this is not for kids.
I don't have respect for anyone who says, "Oh, I didn't get a warning." I'm like, it's on the poster. Yeah. It's in the radio ad. Rated R. Opens this Friday.
I know, right? That's what the rating is. Even when people
you have no excuse.
It's like, all right, if you're like, your kid's like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that.
And stop saying R-rated movies don't make money. That's also bullshit.
Now, I know. I'm just glad that the 2019 movie actually made a little over its budget because of the fact that they made for it. And my friend Patrick, I am not where he lives, but he, you get me every time.
I'm being an asshole. All right, go ahead.
Oh no, it's funny. It's hilarious because my kids do too. So I remember when he first aired on TV. I was in high school. You tell me thinking of it now. When I was, now I gotta think of what it was.
Thinking's overrated.
No, because I was thinking. Okay, Patrick.
Go ahead.
Actually, now he actually almost has the full '04/08 outfit, almost the entire outfit of Ron Perlman, and he has the animatronic hand used in the 2019. We both love that movie, by the way. Yes. And he has the outfit. I'm like, I hate you. He goes, what? I said, you have what I want.
Yeah, all the remaining portions of his costume. Yeah.
because yeah, I'm number one fan. You number two. I said I'm number one fan in the female world. You're the number one fan in the male world. That's what I told him. He just went LOL. Yeah, we talk back and forth all the time on Facebook, but I would just say he doesn't live far from my father. And
Oh wow.
I've seen his museum. That's what I'm gonna call it, or the missing collection. That's what he goes by. His page on Facebook is
Hmm.
called the Missing Collection. And he's got, oh my gosh, he's got so much stuff from other films. But he's like me. He likes devil figures and characters. So do I. And I mean,
There you
hell,
go.
Hellboy. But yeah. So I kind of gave him props for that. So we're good friends. And I mean, I met him,
Man.
but
Okay.
excuse me, I keep burping for some reason.
I can't hear it. It's all good.
No, you're good. I just have to take a breath and then get the rest out. But now back what I was trying to say here is that Liz, I I can see why Del Toro put her with Hellboy,
Hmm.
but she's kind of human. Hellboy is half demon, and
Yeah.
actually, David Harper said something about this. He says he technically wouldn't be able to have relationships with humans because of his strength.
True.
And that's one reason why, if you look closely in the Hellboy and Love comics, they pulled it off amazingly. And
Hmm.
like with if you can tell that he had to let her do all the work, if you
Yep.
think about it, because if he would have tried, yeah, I think you get the drift. I'm not going to go into the little, Hellboy sexual life there, but I mean, yeah. So you look at that, and I mean, David Harper hit it on the nail, and it was like, and when
He
I
did
was,
great. I couldn't tell the difference really. Like the performances are so similar.
yes, exactly, and I love. I was actually going to try and meet, in October. Ron Perlman is actually going to be in Niagara Falls.
Oh,
My
there you
friend
go.
owns that truck I was telling you about. No, he doesn't. It's not the truck itself; it's the Goblin Head from the Maximum Overdrive truck.
Oh man.
Um, Tim Shockey is his name, and him and I were like family, and we talk when we can. God rest his soul. And I pray for him so much because COVID hit him hard, and I told Tim that he needs to let people help him because his medication that he needs to take is so expensive that even the convention was trying to help raise money to help him pay for it
Damn.
because insurance won't cover it.
Mm.
And now he might need a lung transplant. Sorry, stupid. I'm trying to say it and it's like coming out differently. Um. So, and I told Tim, I said, "No, I know you, Tim. You don't like accepting help, but sometimes you just have to let back and let the help come to you. You need it, buddy." And I let him have the rights to the drawing that I did so he can make the money to help him pay for his stuff. Because he sells prints and he's got I got one of the skateboards because I did buy that. I paid for the skateboard and he just had to print it on there.
Gotcha.
But no, every time he does something, he lets me know if I want something and I get first pick. So it's because it has my artwork on it. And I told him, I said, look, I'm not going to charge you anything. I'm a nice person. You work with me, I work with you. And I told him, I said, just take the rights. I'm not going to ask for anything out of it. You
Hmm.
need it more than I do. And then he says, I would really appreciate that. I said, you're welcome. I even drawn a one of a kind image of the goblin or the Green Goblin truck. That's what I call it.
Yeah, for
And
Maximum Overdrive. Yeah. I
yeah,
don't know how Marvel didn't sue back in the day.
I
Honestly.
guess because it wasn't exactly the full on thing.
Maybe it was just they found it humorous or they didn't want to bring any attention. They're like, yeah, this movie's crazy.
Maybe they did get permission. Who knows? I don't know. I never read that up. I never read up on that.
I think
But
they said in interviews on the Blu-ray that they didn't get permission, but no one cared.
No, I didn't see that one, but okay.
Right.
Well, it's already done and over with. Yeah, it came out in 1986. I was 1 year old at the time. I was born
Oh, damn.
1985. November 29th, 1985. And then November 12th, 1985 is the same year Alita 1 came first TV. That's one reason why I had my name changed to Alita 1, who
Whoop, whoop,
is actually a Transformer character.
whoop, whoop.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I do.
Yeah, that's one. I'm one of
I'm
the
just
people.
saying, whoop, whoop. Just awesome.
Oh,
Cool.
I thought you were going boop boop.
Whoop, whoop.
Oh my god, I need sleep. Um,
Don't we all?
Yeah, I think that's one
Hellboy
thing I
definitely
do a lot
doesn't
of.
sleep.
Like my friend says, sleep's underrated. Um, he stays up all the time. He's a gamer. I
Oh
like
my
playing.
God.
My favorite thing is playing zombies. I love zombies.
There you
And now
go.
my new favorite thing to do is Among Us. I like playing Among Us. And I go by the name Hell Girl on there because my character's always red.
Oh, hell. Did you ever play the Hellboy game? I always wanted to play it. I know it had a cameo by
Which
Bruce
one is
Campbell.
that? The one for the what system was it?
I think it was multi-system, PlayStation, Xbox,
I
and
got the games, but I've never actually played the one that were based off the Del Toro films.
yeah, but like they didn't adapt anything for the movies. They just had the actors. It was part of the timeline, and
Yeah,
I know
haven't
Bruce
seen it.
Campbell was in there.
Was he really?
Like he was doing a voice, and I was like, "That's wild."
Oh, he's everywhere. I love that guy. I want to meet him so bad. I see. You won't believe this, but my first introduction to Evil Dead was in middle school.
Nice.
I was in middle school art class. Okay,
You had a head
we're
start.
gonna watch a movie today. I'm like, what are we watching? So I'm so excited because I like watching movies, and he puts it on. I'm like, I was glued to the TV, and I didn't. I said, why are you turning it on? He says, time to begin class. I'm watching it here. It's like I was
Wow.
watching it. And my mom got so mad because I started drawing the chainsaw, blood all over. She says, why are you drawing? I said, I watched a movie in school called Evil Dead 2. And the reason she called the school getting mad and everything. And I'm like, the only reason that they let that is because of the art of movie making.
Right. Technically,
Yeah.
it's more constructive.
Yeah, and
most of everyone
really
is 16 good by that point, so yeah.
I mean, some of it looks cheesy, but that's because in the 80s they didn't have special effects like we do now.
That adds to the appeal.
But I think they did a damn good job of it.
Well, and I think that's why Hellboy appeals to a lot of people. It's cut from the same tooth as Evil Dead in that it's ambitiousness and just
I'd love
winging
to
it.
see Ash and Evil Dead co-op.
Given the amount of comic book crossovers there's been, there's plenty of time. Trust me. There.
Oh my god, I've seen a lot of artwork of that, and
oh sweet.
I keep saving it because I like it. But no, I love me and my fiance. Our favorite one we like to watch is Army of Darkness.
There you go.
I have them on DVD.
Sweet. And
I'm like, I was watching that at the hospital. Believe it or not, I went to the hospital for a medical reason, and I'm sitting there, and the doctor goes, "What are you watching?" I said, "I'm watching Evil Dead: Army of Darkness." He goes, "I never saw that." I looked at him like he was stupid.
You should watch it now.
I know. He says he's gonna have to look it up. I'm like, you must. It isn't. It's not. You have to. You must.
Requirement. Yeah.
Yeah, but for the now for the comics, I can see they didn't do a lot with the Hellboy movie in the 04 and 08. They took bits and pieces. I could tell what they did.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, that's cool.
They just have him say, "Oh crap," even though Hellboy is generally a big demon who just walks around and lets everyone else talk for him, much like Blade. So it's
he's like, well, sometimes the best time is not to say anything, because if you say something, it's like I saw it in a movie. It's like, so if you say some things or you talk too much, it gets you in trouble.
That, or it's just not interesting. It's just like, okay, now that the cat's out of the bag.
Yeah. You think of how energetic he was when he was younger, but he grew up so fast that's how it is with angelic or demonized characters.
Yeah.
Hell is definitely like here 2 hours here is like 2 millenniums in hell,
Yeah.
because time is different there than it
Mm-hmm.
is. And not like it's like all right, when it explains about Hellboy's mom, and I love that whole story. And I actually, you ever seen a movie called Vivitch? It's called Witch.
From 2016.
I think so. I think it was made in 2016. It's about a witch. That movie, when I saw it, and
Oh,
I was
The Witch. Yeah, I couldn't get into
the
that one,
witch, yes.
but that's okay.
And when I call it Vivitch because it's 2 V's, it makes a W.
Yeah.
Um, but I saw that and I'm like, this looks familiar. And the ending when she's
They
dancing,
stole from Hellboy, bastards.
exactly. I'm like, is that Hellboy's mother?
Uh,
I'm like, this is perfect. I'm like, yes, we're gonna say, okay, where was Azeel at? I want to see him. But it just fits so perfectly that in that, because that's what they were doing in the comics. That's how she met Azeel, and she asked him for his power. And of
yep.
course, it manifested over the time as she grew, and then when she was, and this is in the comics, but in the movies, it was a little bit different. It all happened in an instant. And in the
Waiting for a moment. Oh, sorry. I just went into 90s grunge music mode. But
and that's why Hellboy's mother died in the 2019 film, because if you
yes,
think about it, she was pushing out this demon, dude, and
right?
well, half demon, and then she just basically dies. Well, as we all think she is, giving childbirth. What makes you think that Liz is not going to go through the same thing?
Yeah, and
She's got 2.
and doesn't he say something like that when he's dealing with Mila Jovovich's witch character? He's like, "You remind me of my mother, but if she were a bitch."
Yes, and so I think he did. I think he hinted at it. Because she's supposed to be the queen of witches, and I think they kind of took a little bit of the whole thing. Like she's like, we are destined to be together,
Yeah.
and it's like I think they kind of took that from Mike Molina's story from the BPRD of Hecate
Yes.
and Hellboy. They kind of took that right there. But see, I actually came up with a way in my comics when I do mine, when I get later down the road, for Hellboy and her being together, that God actually had I'm telling you because you're the only one I've actually ever told this to, other than one other person. God created a way, a failsafe, that if Hellboy chose to be good, he would have a woman that would be able to tame the beast, if you get what I mean.
Bingo.
And that would be that would be Hilzanora. And now for the whole Hecate thing, of course, we all know what happens to that if you read the comics.
Yeah.
And they don't bet he basically, that she would have been that, but in a way, my character is like the failsafe. And of course, and it's like it's kind of hard because it's still rough.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea of it, that's what I got like a lot for it. It's still like on a what they call a drafting board, if you think of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't mess with canon. I don't mess with anything that's already there.
It's a good idea.
I like what you like take a needle when you're fixing it. I go through, I weave through. I don't mess with the main design. And that's the best way to do it. Because
Totally.
if you mess and you make things your own and create your own universe, then you're just basically messing up the character you fell in love with.
Bingo.
And
Fan fiction
I
has a
learned
limit,
that
guys.
Huh?
Fan fiction has a limit, guys.
Exactly. And like my character, she has actually she's telekinesis. But now if he's like, oh, you overpowered her. No. She does not know how to use it properly. She only
Yeah.
uses it, her main thing she uses it for is to manipulate fire and electricity. She learned that
She's
at a
like
very
Scarlet Witch, but she actually uses even more elementals and
yes. she can use instead of power, she uses it's more of angelic abilities.
Bingo.
And when she does it, it's not red or blue. It's mainly just white.
Yep.
And the lightning itself is white. And yeah, and I even said, you know what? I never seen actually pure white fire because it's like the fire of God, if you think about it.
Yes.
It's like she's got that angel touch to it. And yeah, there's a whole thing. You'll learn a lot more when I make my comment. I don't want to give all the juicy
I
evidence.
look forward to it.
My friend and I, we're working on it. I also might have another person who might be helping me with it. I'm not sure yet, but it's in draft. We're trying to figure out how we're gonna. I got how you say it. It's where I gotta pick out what I want done in each panel. I told him to start off with the 2 because he's already got it drawn out, the draft of it. And I told him just go ahead and go stick with that because I like the way it starts. And then we'll just continue from there, and then I'll tell him what to do in the panels as we go. So he draws it, I ink and color it.
Bam.
And I've also given him because he's really good at what he does too. And I told him, I said, who knows? This might be your big break. And I'm just trying to make a little blip in the pond that we're in, Everybody's trying to make something of themselves, and I just want to make something that people are going to like even
Bingo.
after I'm gone. That's what I want to leave my mark on the world.
Something, man.
Ain't that the truth? And I like now back to Hellboy.
Yeah.
I think people who hated the 2019 film,
They were already gonna hate it.
Yeah, because they were too.
If you don't like it, that's on you, but don't before it's even out.
Yes, I saw that. People were like, "Oh, it's gonna be a disaster." I was like, "Dude, you haven't even watched it yet." Oh my gosh, I love the Baba Yaga.
Yeah.
She's like my favorite villain, and I
Totally
actually
fun.
using her in one of my crossover comics. She's one of the people one of the characters I'm going to be using.
Good idea.
Yeah, she's like my favorite villain in the whole Hellboy community here. And I like the image. It was an art piece that I saw with a Hellboy beating the crap out of Baba Yaga. I'm like, I like that. I actually think I still have it on my phone. But and Mike Maloney did a good job of that. Every time I hear Baba Yaga, I kind of think of John Wick.
Yeah, I don't know why. It does kind of have that kind of peppy.
Yeah,
it
does. I'm like,
you know my name.
Oh my gosh.
I'm thinking I'm back. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm back. I love John Wick. Oh my gosh, I love that movie. I love them all. I can't wait for number 5. No spoilers. No spoilers.
Yep.
No spoilers.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, it will.
I'm gonna see Equalizer free right in the next few weeks.
That looks good too. I like that. I'm really interested in seeing that. I don't know about the Five Nights at Freddy one though. I liked Willy's Wonderland better. It was one movie that you hardly hear any words, and he just beat the crap out of the animatronics.
Yeah, it's questionable.
That one was good. I like that. I'm like, okay, I like this one. I'm not really much of an animatronic movies, but okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Do you have any other questions?
Altogether, why do you think just with all these what are the best avenues to fund your own comics?
I hear a lot of people are mainly using Kickstarter. If you have biggest thing to do is share it.
Keep sharing it.
That's what I do. I mean, I get it out. I go to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, aka X now. I don't know why. It makes me think I'm going on a porn site. I don't know why, but it does.
Don't know. I didn't think that. Okay.
Well, you think X. It's like Forbidden X.
Forbidden. Oh, okay. My head wasn't in the toilet yet. Sorry.
Kind of cool. But I'm like, it was called Twitter for so many years. Like, dude, why couldn't you keep it that way?
I want it that way.
Yeah, that whatever floats his boat, I guess. I just use the website. See, you can but yeah, Kickstarter. I've seen a lot of people like Mike Maloney, even what is it, Manic Games. they have their board games and stuff like for the Hellboy like role playing games. And
That's cool.
yeah, I have I would and you can pick a pledge. If you're gonna do it, I would suggest having some of the stuff already made or ideas of what you're going to do. That way you have a set plan and pledges that people can donate to it. That way you can get them done, and then if it's funded, you're able to kick it off. That's why it's called Kickstarter.
Sweet.
And I like Kickstarter. I've never done. I thought about it so many times. I mean, you can also have a GoFundMe to fund your comic. Like people can just donate and then use the money to help create the comic. But to me, the Kickstarter way it's probably a lot more better.
It's very helpful.
Yeah, it is. I mean, yeah, every site you go on, you're gonna have to pay some kind of premium. Pay something for using their services. It's like I sell some stuff on Macari, if you ever heard of it. It's an app. It's United States and Canada based. And I have some comics that used to belong to my brother. And when he moved to, I think it was Minnesota he moved to. I can't remember, but I think it's where he moved to. And he left those behind, and he just basically said, "Oh, yeah, you can have them." I'm like, "Why don't you know?" And they're mainly X-Men. And
For real?
well, these are a lot of X-Men comics, dude. I don't know if I'm gonna do all these. And I'm just like, give me the money, and if every money I get, I'm gonna put it back into my collection. So, and not to mention I get commissions and I get stuff with my, Hellboy and Hills of Nora. I'm trying to get a model done of Hills of Nora, and I'm actually trying to learn 3D animation, because if I can learn how to do it, I can just do a 3D show.
Bingo.
And that's what I want to do.
I've seen people do that. There was someone who did a very cool CGI fan series.
Oh, the
web
Hellboy
series of Judge Dredd, for instance. So I think
really?
if the passion is there, it'll come out.
Yeah, it will. Especially if have you ever seen those little? They had them back, I think, about a year or two ago. It was the alien. It was an alien sequence.
Yes.
And really good. And I'm like, I want more.
And you might as well. That's how you get better, is recreate.
Exactly. And they did, and this was just acting. They did all this acting, and the characters they had, the people who portrayed the characters, even the alien itself, they did amazing. And I'm like, okay, I want to see more. And I don't know if they ever worked on it. And I did hear that we might be getting another Alien movie. I'm not sure.
We are. It's by the guys who did Prey. Prey did so well.
Yeah. I kind of figured that because I like that. That was a new take on the movie. I saw it.
Right?
Like, okay,
I saw so many people acting like Hollywood's woke and politically correct. I'm like, what's wrong with a Navajo perspective?
I mean, Indians are very smart.
They've been here longer than us.
Exactly. And
Makes
even that
sense.
movie, what is it? 65 million years.
Hell, one of the original guys in the original Predator was a Navajo guy. So what? You tell me what's
exactly. Oh my gosh,
hunters hunt the alien hunters.
It doesn't matter who they are. It's like she kicked their ass.
It's better than just having more stupid Marines that just are cannon fodder.
And then she proved her family could do it. That women can do just as much as a man can.
Bingo. And people love just acting like, oh, it can be different, just not that kind of different. I'm like, well, what do you mean by that?
What more different do you want?
You complain if it's formulaic, and then you complain if you change it up. What do you want?
Yeah, exactly.
What do you want?
You got people who nitpick at every little thing there is. And something, look at it like, why are they talking? Just because it's a girl fighting and beating the crap out of a predator, which is, I think, is pretty cool, kind of cool and hot. Even though I'm a girl, the guys are gonna go, "Damn, she's kicking his ass," and I'm gonna be like, "Damn, girl, you get it." No, I'm busy.
I'm busy kicking ass.
No, it's my fiance. Open my door.
It's all good.
Yeah,
sure it's not Hellboy bursting for their...
Oh, he's tall as him. He's about 6 feet, 6.5, almost 6.5 feet. He's actually cosplayed Hellboy.
Sweet.
Had the outfit. It cost us about $1,500. No,
1,500.
between the $2,000 range. I'm gonna say that.
Ah,
Done, and it looks
that's
just like,
even worse.
and it looks just like the one in the movie. It's just he kind of put on a little weight tummy. I was like, you want to wear that outfit? You're gonna have to actually lose some of that. And
Yeah.
his stomach.
Unless you want to say you're mutated Hellboy. I don't know.
No, he's just got a beer belly.
Not a fat shame, just a joke.
No, I mean, Hellboy, technically, he's got some muscle because, I mean, look what he does. But if
Yeah.
you ever notice, he does have a little bit of beer belly there.
Yeah. Every once in a
Yeah,
while.
I mean, who doesn't? I mean, Dudley likes his alcohol. Shit, I don't blame him. I mean, it's kind of funny, too, because the way I have my character, you would think she's all, like, godlike, just because she was born in heaven. But see, her aunt is a witch. And
She's a witch
her
burn her.
father, I know, but she's a good witch, and this is in the hills of West Virginia. And this is before I found out, way before I found out that they were going to be filming the new movie in um West Virginia.
Mm.
And I'm like, talk about a coinkydink. And that's what I said to my fiance. And I said, they're going to use West Virginia, and that's where my character is. I have the whole town. It's a small town because actually Professor Broom moved them to this town to keep him hidden
Oh, wow.
because they didn't want to take it. Her aunt and uncle didn't want to live at the bureau, and they refused to go there because, of course, I mean, they're from England, and
Good day.
the father of my character is considered like not killed in action, but AFK.
Mm.
And there's a reason for that because you can't really find out until later.
Yes.
He runs his own occult. Sorry, not occult. Coven. He's a leader of that coven. That's why she's a witch. He's a warlock. And her mother, is on Earth. Now, you ever seen a movie called He's Not Dead? And it's about Cain.
He's not dead. It sounds familiar.
I tell you, I watch a lot of movies.
He's not dead.
Yeah, it's about Cain from the Bible.
He never died.
He never dies. Yeah, I don't know why
I
said
have
this.
heard of that. Yeah. I meant to see it.
He has suffered. He suffers to roam the world, and he never ages.
Yep.
All right, that's what my character's mother is basically doing. And she goes off after she gave the last bit of power she had to protect her daughter. And she goes off, and over those years of her, she ends up becoming more feral.
Mm.
She resents the Lord because he's the one that threw her out of heaven. And you kind of get the sense, like, since she was rejected from God out of the God's kingdom, she was forced to live on Earth until the end of time.
Gotcha.
Basically the apocalypse or the resurrection or whatever. But there's a lot more to it. I can't say what because it's going to ruin it. But there's a big part her mother will play, and there's a big part her father will play. And they are both still alive.
Nice.
But I can't tell you because it's kind of part of her comic, and it's going to kind of bleed over into the crossover between her and Hellboy. And everybody's like, well, why do you pair her with Hellboy? Well, the guy needs love. He needs a woman that can be, he can have a life with. Yeah, they said, well, what about Liz? Well, Liz is actually human. And I'm like, when I created Hills of Nora, I felt sorry for Hellboy because he looked like he was sad and lonely. And I was like, dude, the guy needs love too. And I kind of felt sorry for him. I'm like, and I started just thinking, and I'm like, well, what if he had a girl and, she's half angel and she can.
Making this so hard for the rest of us.
What?
They make this so hard for the rest of us.
Yeah, it does. But see, I mean, it's people. It's like they see like how can I'm trying to figure out how the way to explain it to make it not sound weird.
That's weird.
When people,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, you're like it's weird. You're like my cousin. My cousin and I, we used to play Nerf guns all the time, and I
Of
love
course
Nerf.
you did.
My son's got 6 of them now, and we play Nerf guns all the time. I did Nerf guns. They're on my Instagram video, not Instagram, TikTok.
Sweet.
But no, it's more like when people see something that's famous or they think they can get their chance in the limelight. And I think that's why some people are like, oh my gosh, I want to go with him or I want to be with him. And it's like, that's not really the reason I'm doing this. I'm doing it because I love to draw. 2, I love the character. 3, why the hell not?
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't do it to push anybody. Hey, I have friends who have characters that put with Hellboy all the time. It's just try to make it a competition, or you put it out there. It's like, oh yeah, that doesn't fit. That doesn't fit. You got to be open minded. It's like I love the story between Anastasia and Hellboy. I love it, and it's like and heck, you know she's not my character, but I like it because it shows that Hellboy has a sensitive side, and he has it. I mean, even though when if some don't know this, sorry, even if when they kind of parted ways, he still cared for her. It's just, and he realizes that she was getting picked on. And he didn't want her to do that, and she was getting famous from the archaeological stuff that she was doing. Trust me, I did research with her too, because I have to know this, because when I do it with my comics, I gotta not mess up with that, because he ends up telling her about his past relationships. Like, I mean, that happens when you date somebody, no matter who you are.
Yeah.
Tell them about it's like, oh, yeah, I was married and she's crazy, try to kill my ass. That when he got married, basically Hellboy gets married in the comics, and that one comic, Hellboy,
that thing, yeah.
Go to get married. If I have that comic too, I really like that, because it's just like he's like super drunk and he's just wakes up married, and it's like, and I actually have a way to avoid that wedding too, believe it or not. I come up with a whole like hellistic ritual to avoid that marriage.
It's a good idea.
I did, but of course that would be later on, and that's part of what, one of the issues that I'm not issues like I have issues, but the issues of the comics, and I want to do if it kicks off, because I've done role played a lot of this stuff, like not act out but typed. Like I said, I've been role playing Hellboy for almost, I think, 5 years now. Yeah, so I don't role play Hellboy, I role play my character. My fiance and I role play together. We did that for 3 years, and I role played with another person for about a year and a half. My fiance, I think we did it longer. I just can't remember right off the bat. But I do have all the role plays. I have every single file, so I don't lose them. I hope I'm not expanding your time.
No, it's fine. It's very fascinating. So
I just don't like to talk about my stuff. I mean, I want people to expect that there is going to be a fan comic, because I know there's a lot of people who are interested in reading it. And I mean, there are some strange people out there. Trust me, I'll say some. That that you run into in other fandoms, or like even in the Hellboy fandom. I ran into my first weird case, and it's like, WTF? And you're just like, okay, button block. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Yeah, I know, right? Because if I told you, you would be like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? But
we'll return after these messages.
Hey,
Hey, it's Brent Pope, the host of Breakfast with Brent Pope. You've seen me on some of your favorite TV shows saying things like, "Give it up, Jimmy. You got to sink this putt to win." On Breakfast with Brent Pope, I sit down with guests from the entertainment world, and we do it all over breakfast. Or should I say Brentfast? Every week on Brentfast, you get inside Hollywood info and tips, great breakfast recs and foodie debates. Most of all, you get the most delightful 30 minutes of your week. So dig in. It's Brentfast time. Listen at Brentfast.com, Apple Podcasts, or wherever fine podcasts are found.
Do you ever find yourself thinking about who would win in a fight between Goku and Superman? Hi, I'm James Gavsey, and on the Who Would Win show, me and my co-host Ray ignore anything important happening in the outside world and debate fictional battles between characters from comics, movies, and video games.
We got a new show every week, and almost always am I the winner.
Yeah, not true, Ray.
In the past, we've discussed such matches as Captain America versus Darth Vader, Solid Snake versus the Iron Giant, classic matchups like RoboCop versus Terminator, and even the Muppets versus Sesame Street.
That one was crazy. So if you're a fan of geek culture and love a spirited debate, check out the Who Would Win show wherever you get your podcasts, or check us out at whowouldwinshow.com.
Follow us on the web on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The podcast is available on Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Apple, and anywhere else podcasts are available. Feel free to review our show and leave comments on any of those sites. Thanks a million for listening.
It's a jacked up